But yeah, who wants to do the intro? I'm ready to go.
I'll do it.
All right. Eric, count us down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Trois, deux, un, and here we go. Good night, everyone. Welcome to Louder Than Podcast. This evening, we have a handful of subjects, some shorter stories to sprinkle in there as well. But let's focus on two major ones for tonight. Are we starting with Belgium, or do we have another one?
Let's start with Belgium.
Yeah, because that's kind of like a theme we've been going with for a while.
All
Not
right,
Belgium, but as
Okay, so the Vikings are done pillaging the lands and are looking to pillage the coffers of the gaming industry right now, as they are banning and heavily penalizing unfair loot box practices.
good for
It was
them.
most recently discussed in, it was either Belgium or the Netherlands. We're discussing Belgium tonight, I just don't know which one was more recent. That they are looking to ban certain loot boxes under their new conditions for emulating gambling and other unhealthy behaviors, with fines and a possible jail time penalty.
Now, do you want to help us out and emphasize the gambling laws over there? Did you read about that in the articles and stuff?
I can give you my closest thing to an understanding. I'm not familiar with European law, though.
Right, me neither. It just, like, I remember the emphasis on Belgium's really strict.
Basically, they are strict to the point of even emulating gambling in a legal establishment is enough to bring down the hammer of gambling regulation.
Right.
So even if you were to, I don't know, let's say have a casino-themed birthday party and you had poker, even if there was no money involved, it may emulate it so closely that they would want to discourage parents from having that kind of birthday party.
Right, that makes sense. Well, at least,
Cool.
like, I understand, yeah. There was one more question I had. Oh yeah, what games exactly were the biggest, like, on the chopping block for that?
The biggest offenders, from what I saw, were
CS:GO.
NBA 2K18, CSGO, and Overwatch.
Yeah.
And somehow
You
Star
think,
Wars Battlefront 2 got away with it.
Because they took it out, because, you know.
Yeah,
They
they
were smart about
technically, like, took action, quote-unquote.
Yep. So, like, never mind, I forget. Oh, yeah, now I remember. So you think that Blizzard's going to try to find a way to squeeze their way out of this whole, hey, we're going to have to pay a fine? Like they did with, they did that earlier with, China.
Yeah, honestly, I think the only reason they got around that with China is because they were able to skim some of the profits off of them, and they were able to persuade that government. The Belgians are on a warpath for this on, like, a policy and publicity level.
Yeah.
So they are not willing to, like, line their pockets in exchange for saving face here. They are trying to make policy.
Yeah, Belgium. Like,
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
And surprisingly,
And let's not act surprised that the Chinese don't care about skirting the law when it comes to games. I mean, China, we had the discussion, was it a couple weeks ago or maybe a month, how they were using cheating in games as part of their advertising for computers.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they were talking about how many plugins a computer could handle with their certain components, and it was those plugins used specifically for hacks and bots.
Interesting, okay.
I think one of the crazy things is that they, first of all, are so focused, like hyper-focused on policy, but also when I was reading the comments, I was kind of shocked that a lot of people were like, well then just don't pay for the loot boxes, you don't have to. Like, a lot of people were like defending it, surprisingly.
I want to know how we
And-
got to the point where consumers are willing to defend practices that are meant to be actively hostile against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Its thing is like, you can say the same thing about, you don't have to gamble, but
About
people
what?
still gamble a lot. Like, you the same thing with gambling. Like, you can say, like, oh, you don't have to gamble. It's not like the twist of your hand to gamble, but at the same
Yeah.
time, gamble a
Because, like,
lot.
nobody forces you to empty your child's college savings account in order to get that one last pull. You did it willingly.
Well,
Yeah.
also just the fact that, like, one of the, quote, like, defending arguments I saw was like, oh, what, like, would you rather it be, like, oh, well, each skin is, like, $10 or whatever? And it's like, well, it is better than, you know, spending $10 and not getting it.
Actually, would
Yeah.
prefer that because you could get specifically what you want without rolling the dice every loot box.
Yeah.
You know, Blizzard actually only in the Chinese market has a way to directly buy the currency for picking out your customization options.
Right.
Everywhere else, you have to get loot boxes and random rolls for the currency.
Well, and that's why people were like, oh, man, like, we should take, like, lessons from Europe, and people are like, why? It's like, I don't know, maybe because you're literally gambling instead of just paying money for the product.
Because the Europeans are the ones leading the charge on actually getting us decent refund policies in online games. Steam was not going to budge on their, basically, a refusal to refund games on their service until that Australian lawsuit reared its head. They fought it. Then the European Union was coming down on them saying, like, hey, you need to offer a refund option or we won't allow you to operate in our market. And the European market is so large, I mean, it's not Asia big or United States big, but it's big enough that it would eat their profits.
Yeah. It's big enough to notice and to care.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, to be fair, like, Australia is a big country and all, but like, in the gaming sense, I don't think they're that big of a deal. Because, like, they do try to, like, censor a lot and, like...
Right, they are big on censorship and things like that, which is...
jacking up the prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia's a punchline, not a starting point when it comes to these gaming discussions, unfortunately. Like, until they stop getting fucked over the conversion rates on game pricing and their censorship, then I don't think they can... They really need to deal with their own parliament before we can start integrating them into the global discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here you didn't want to talk about politics.
Well, at least it's relevant.
You do.
But yeah, so I don't know, it's just weird to me, that dichotomy of people shitting on loot boxes in general, but then when a country is doing something about it, they're like, well, hey, now, let's not be too hasty. Like, or at least some of the people I was reading. I know the general public still isn't a fan. I just didn't think I would ever see, like, any defense of it, you know? That
so,
was
are you
really
guys...
wild.
Are you guys ready to become conspiracy theorists?
Oh, I'm already there.
Great. So, like, do you think
They're
that
putting
people
potions in the water to make the frickin' Murlocs gay.
Coward.
So,
Okay, continue.
do you think that like the guy, big loud guy saying like, "Oh, defending loot boxes" are people from the companies or fake accounts?
It's not.
I mean, after that
completely-
FCC case we had?
I'm kind of iffy on that stuff. Like, I don't think it can't happen, but I don't think it does happen either.
I think they're just gullible consumers that were suckered into it because of good marketing.
Yeah.
Also, do you think it's mostly like a sunk cost fallacy where someone pays like out the butt for like all the different kinds of loot boxes, and they're like, "Oh man, if I pay this much, why can't everyone else do that?"
I mean, honestly, that's probably more likely it.
Yeah, that's not.
They
unheard of.
feel. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just agreeing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's pretty likely that they're just so invested in the system that they're almost suckered into it.
Yep, they're in the war machine now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Sad
it's
days.
just- it's weird. But yeah, so these companies might be patching like an entirely different system into their overseas version in that region.
But is that worth it, or do you think it's more? I guess it
I
depends
don't
how much
know.
money they get from countries like America
I
with
think
the loot
it's
boxes.
worth it to not lose like
All of that business.
yeah, like an entire country's worth of business and fans and loyalty.
In good faith, yeah.
I also, and I mean this in a respectful way, I'm not shitting on Eric for once. I also think you're thinking from the American worldview, and not the fact that, like, when you're in one of those countries, there's probably way more people that play those games than you would think. It's just because we don't hear about the countries a lot that you're probably thinking, like, oh, they're not huge market shares. And granted, they probably are smaller market shares, but I'm sure that there's enough there to make it worth pursuing. You know,
I was
we're
also
talking
having some fun
entire
with it.
Countries. What?
I was also having some fun with that theory.
But yeah, so I think it will be worth it for them to completely, like, patch it, because when you think about it, all they have to do is pretty much take out the ability, there's a potential issue here that I will touch on, but all they have to do is take out the loot box store and just make it so that you can earn them from gameplay solely.
Like,
which you already can.
look how easy it was for Battlefront 2.
Exactly. But, and I think Overwatch already has certain countries where they don't have a loot box store, you just earn them from playing. But then one of the arguments I saw, which I will admit is, like, technically valid, was people saying like, well, okay, great, so now you just have less options than another country.
Yeah,
Which
they've
is
got
to say
multiple
that like,
builds
you
going
can't
up
buy
across
the loot boxes, you have to grind extra hard, even if, you know, the argument is if you have more money than time, you can just buy loot boxes.
Yeah, it's good to have the option, but to be dependent on it, I think, is the big problem. And the people defending it currently are those who have grown dependent on the model.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the other big problem is that when the game itself isn't changing, it's not really an option so much as a deterrent. Like, okay, if you tell me that, oh, in Overwatch, you can either earn loot boxes from leveling up, or you can choose to buy them, but you can do both in your region, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when that's the case, if you take away my ability to buy the loot boxes, I'm now at just strictly a disadvantage from other regions. If you patch the entire game worldwide to remove that feature, then it's not so bad.
It's still...
I don't think they would do a comprehensive global change, though. I mean, they still have the North American and the South American markets.
No, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm just saying, like, that's why I think a lot of people see it as a rotten thing, is because it's not that everybody's losing it becomes somebody has an advantage in buying the loot boxes.
It's the simplest way to put it is it's unfair.
Exactly. Because you're offering
it.
Consumer choice in one region that you're not offering to another region.
Yeah.
But people like us who don't like buying loot boxes in the first place,
it almost like it doesn't really ultimately make too much of a difference, but just the fact that it's like it's different one place.
Yeah.
It's like just unfair.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
Which is a weird concept, actually, that, loot boxes are, buying loot boxes is an advantage. And I think it's kind of a distracting tactic that, now we're debating, like, the best way to sell loot boxes or get them, instead of saying don't fucking put loot boxes in general.
I think that's a better way of going about it. It's just
I have to interrupt this really quick. I gave Melanie a link, and she said she's in the chat being a butt, but no, I don't think any of us have the chat open.
In general? Hold on.
Damn it, Melanie, it's a podcast. We're not audience interacting right now. Yell at us later on Twitter or something.
Ew, Twitter.
Yeah, good point.
I don't even use my Twitter. I put it in my bio, like, hey, if you want to, like...
I thought you were going to say something else.
I put it in my butt.
Yeah.
No, but I don't even use it.
I don't even use my butt.
Yeah, me neither.
Anyway.
I'm just saying, I'm technically just standing right now.
You took the high route with that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, by the way, have you heard, I don't know if this is real, but, one of these old, Discovery Channel shows, or, the top 5 craziest things people have done, there's a guy who's, been standing for, the past 10 years because he had an operation on his, back or something like that, and it was more comfy for him to stand.
What?
So, he sleeps standing up, kind of like Nosferatu.
Like a horse?
Like Nosferatu. Kind of like a closet, I think.
The fuck?
Stuff's wild.
What are you doing, Chris?
I was checking my stream, but then I realized I was in the middle of a firefight, so I'm... Okay, cool. I was playing based on the stream, which was not comfortable.
I'm missing all the excitement trying to look for this random person in chat.
She probably... I mean, maybe she stopped. I don't know.
She's a phantom.
Yeah.
Like the Phantom Pain?
Like Danny Phantom.
Okay,
Oh,
what's
dude,
our
Dave?
next topic?
That was a fast one.
Oh, yeah, Nintendo is making a new mobile game, and I'm very cynical about it.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Oops.
I haven't heard about it.
Go on.
Grand Blue Fantasy, which is one of the upper echelon of games that fuck you with drop rates.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean?
Oh,
drop rates. I have drop rates. Okay.
Yeah. It's one of the more notorious games on the market. And it's not as bad as Taylor, help, I'm blanking on the name.
What?
What's the really bad one?
Fire Emblem?
No. The one with the terrible drop rates.
Monster Hunter?
I mean, they all have terrible drop rates.
Is Grand Blue the notorious one?
I guess. I don't know.
I I will assert it's Monster Hunter because I was farming gems for over a week. Just trying to get
I'm
4
talking
of
about like mobile games with like loot boxes or gacha.
Oh, mobile
pulls.
games? Okay.
Yeah.
Puzzle and Dragons.
Pad is
Okay, I'll bet you about cool Vaitaroth raids another time. Continue.
Yeah.
no. What was that? Who's Ibaraki from?
Oh, fuck.
Fate. Grand Order.
Yeah.
That's like the notoriously bad one, but Grand Blue is pretty much its right-hand man. So the people who make this game, now keep in mind, Nintendo did make a gacha game already, and it's, Fire Emblem Heroes, but supposedly Fire Emblem is very good with drop rates to the point where, like, when you start failing pulls, they increase your odds for better cards.
Oh, wow, okay.
Which is, like, more than I can say for a lot of other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a more generous pity timer than most by the sound of it.
Yeah. But here's the issue. The Grand Blue team is teaming up with Nintendo to make an all-new original RPG gacha game. And, as part of the agreement, Nintendo now owns part of the company.
Gacha game. Like, it's my first time hearing that term.
Gacha machines are the little bubbles that you pull in Japan with little figures in them in
Gachapon.
toys. Gachapon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm taking bets on what the game is going to be right now. I'm thinking it's going to be Brave Exvius meets Super Smash Brothers.
There is a trailer for it, and it looks like a little action RPG, and it looks really cute and really good, but I just don't trust it. I fucking hate gacha games. I played Pad for a long time, Puzzle and Dragons. It was really annoying having to keep up with pulling new monsters all the time, and there's also, like, in a game that's required to be, updated to stay relevant to the players, they just start adding things that make the game really convoluted.
Yeah, I don't know what the franchise is called, but it was, they have a gacha game. It's like a bunch of historical figures that are made into waifus.
Oh,
Like, they're called Saber Class or something.
yeah.
They're
Isn't that
made of the
Fate?
waifus?
That's Fate, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's Fate. They have, like, Jeanne d'Arc and, all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. It's like, I saw they put out a comic recently that was mocking the whole gacha thing.
Oh, yeah, and the
Yeah.
fans,
It's like people
fans
just
loved it.
grinding out for it.
They were literally making fun of their audience. And
It's like they had this character that was just a rabid chibi screaming gotcha, and it's like the more I want it, the more I love it, or something like that. It's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to have some brass balls to mock the people that are spending the most on your game.
I kind of looked at it more, not so much as, like, making fun of them, just, like, realizing what their fans are all about.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's pretty fucked up.
It's tongue-in-cheek.
It's really not, though. It's pretty flat out. I read them, and it was pretty much just like, haha, look at all the money you spend, and you don't get the thing you want.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like when the company starts talking to their consumers saying dance monkey dance, you might have to take a step back.
Yeah, I really have no respect for them. Also, like, I want to clarify just how bad these drop rates can be. People have spent, like, upwards of, like, $600 to $1,000 and still not gotten a card that they were trying for.
Wow,
Is this
okay.
available in China? Like, have they had to disclose their drop rates?
Yes, I think so. I think so. But yeah, no, those games are big in China too, so I'm pretty
The last real big game I bought for, not bought or played for mobile was a bullet hell called Skyforce R.
Okay.
And, like, the drop rate, like, they kind of spam me with ads. I think that's the big deal with them. Like, you're like, oh, pay us money, we'll give you no more ads.
Yeah.
But, like, have, like, drops for, like, new ship types and all that, but it doesn't seem that bad. Like, I think as long as, like, the core gameplay is fun and it's not dependent on the drop rate, it's okay, but some games, like, make it, you don't get this drop, you're never going to win.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to say, like, it's always bad, because, who the fuck am I to say that? But, like, I don't know, I just don't think the model really works. I've always found it to be, and I've played a few games like this, mainly Monster Strike and Puzzle and Dragons, but I've found it to always be that, like, the game starts out really fun, and okay, yeah, I have good cards, I don't need to, like, spend money on pulling stuff, and then, like, the dungeons get specifically harder and harder in a way that, like, yeah, these new cards we put out would really help you right now, and then, like, even beyond the money spent, or, like, the time spent grinding that you have to keep up on, like they keep introducing newer and newer mechanics. So like there was a point in Puzzle and Dragons where you had to grind out like 5 fucking different materials just to make one monster, you know, usable. And it's like I don't fucking I'm neglecting all of my other things that I want to play to grind out this one fucking game. It's not worth it. It's not fun anymore. Get me out.
Get out.
Yeah.
By the way, so, you know, since we're on the topic of mobile games, Melanie actually just told me there's a,
Viewer update.
yeah, viewer update. There's a,
Beep 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 beep.
Beep, 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 beep.
ticker.
Breaking news. Fresh
Breaking
from
news.
We have this feature on Louder Than Podcast. Continue.
There is a...
Eric, finish the Reaper video.
Shut up!
I'm yelling at Eric, not you.
There's a bullet hell mobile game called Girl Jail, and I'm very interested.
Oh, I think I've heard
Is
the
it
name, but I
good?
didn't know anything about it.
Does that have anything to do with, what's it called? Prison
Jail?
Despair or something? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know, but I'm gonna look into it.
Does it make you pull out your hair?
Probably.
I
Does it
assume
put you on a
neither of
government
guys
watch
have
list?
Heard of it?
No, I haven't.
I haven't.
Okay.
Holy shit.
She said it's super short. I'm getting live updates here.
Live updates.
So, as in super short, as in Edward Elric, super short, or like gameplay super short?
What do you think?
How would he tell?
Okay, wait. I googled girl jail, and
Oh,
that was
no.
a very bad idea.
That was a terrible idea. Why would you do that?
Safe search is the new black. Be careful with that.
Rip.
Oh my god.
Rip, 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 rip.
Can you give us like a relatively safe explanation of what came up?
News reports of women being put in prison.
Oh, that's actually somehow
Crude
more
applications
wholesome
of
than I expected.
safety baton, I'm guessing.
Oh, I really thought it was gonna be way different.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be porn straight up.
Yeah, straight up, 100%.
So, one of Vice's
I'm kind of disappointed
many-
prison school didn't come up in there.
What?
Prison school?
Oh, good point. Good point.
It's a hentai disguised as an anime.
Yeah.
What?
So, you know how Vice has like 800 sister sites?
Yeah.
Yes, like
There's one
10
called
billion,
Waypoint. I'm guessing it's video game related, but
Yeah.
they have an article about this game, Girl Jail. The title is "A Game About Cyberpunk Ladies in Supermax," and the caption is "Girl Jail is a game about romantic arson and bullet hell."
This sounds like something I'm interested
Yeah.
in.
It sounds like if Yoko Taro made Girl Fight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
See-
post a link in our Discord so you guys can check it out.
Please.
so. Like, speaking of which, is there like, have you guys played the what's it called? Oh my god, I forget. It's a dating game with pigeons.
Oh, Hotiful Boyfriend?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
How is it?
I haven't finished it, but I have like, we got like the limited edition plushies and stuff. We've played like a decent amount of it. It's very
I think I
good.
got it for sale. I think
Oh,
I
so
got
it's
it for
worth
sale
it.
for like $1. I still have to try it.
Chris, it's really
Same.
fucking good.
Do
So
you
you're
find
gonna
your
get
true
away with
waifu there?
What?
Do you find your
Is it
true
so-
waifu there?
Oh, no, you find a husbando.
Oh, Habando, my bad.
There's
Okay.
some weird characters in that game, even for a game about dating birds.
It turns into like a murder mystery halfway through, doesn't it?
It can. I'm not saying anymore.
Like,
I
I
can
just
do
watched
that.
what's her channel? Press Hard to Continue, that playthrough.
Oh, I love Dodger.
Isn't she having a baby this month?
She might be. If so,
Possibly.
congrats, Dodger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I
I-
know she's married. To another content creator.
Sam Strippin, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm very happy for them if they are having a child. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, they said it on the last co-optional podcast. She's like either this week
Oh.
or next week. It's very soon. So
Nice.
Oh snap, that's cool. Good for her.
Congrats, my dude.
Yeah.
Shoot
Now
your
she
dude,
has
my
a
dude.
little monster.
yep, the rainbow-haired dwarf is officially becoming a MILF. Anything can happen.
What a world.
She was a MILF before the baby.
Yep.
I don't know.
By the way, Hedgehog is now done. Moving on to making a trident.
Hell yeah.
What for? Same deliberate plan.
Same evil plan, correct? Yes.
Okay.
This one I drew a lot earlier, so I'm just making it into a vector.
Nice. So, yeah, Nintendo's making a mobile game.
I do want to say, though, that I trust them to keep it separate, because, to be fair, I don't think I've seen any other part of their business suffer from making...
I mean, if they're as hands-off with it as they were with Niantic, then we should be safe.
Yeah,
true.
like, even not counting Pokemon Go, because, I mean, it does count, but, you know, it was Niantic more than Nintendo. Mario Run was a full-fledged purchase once, you never have to pay again game. Fire Emblem Heroes is still more fair than a lot of gacha games out there. I know people who play that don't like gacha games in the way that they, like, do their thing. And Animal Crossing is, like, super fair from what I see.
Yes.
It's still very engaging, and Taylor doesn't spend a dime on it.
Did you guys ever play that Amiibo game they released?
Oh,
not
Miitomo?
Amiibo, sorry.
I
Miitomo, yeah.
did.
Yeah,
and-
Miitomo was cute, but...
Didn't we talk about this last week?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I just, to recap, I brought up how it was really cute idea, and it was good for like 2 weeks, but there was literally unplayable when everybody else stopped playing it.
Which is, in general, fine.
It's like purely based on interaction with other people. There's nothing to do without other people.
Well, and like I said, in general, that's fine, but for something that you're going to be, like, asked to consistently put money into for, like, you know, costumes and stuff like that and decorations, it didn't last nearly long enough to make your money spent worth it if you were the kind to spend money on it. I dropped a few bucks on, like, and this was when I was still, like, doing gacha stuff and, like, not as, you know, inquisitive about it, but, you know, I dropped a couple bucks on the cranes and stuff like that. It was cute, but, like, yeah, it didn't last nearly long enough for me to feel I got anything out of it.
But tell me it was kawaii.
It was kawaii.
Oh. Oh, so guys, off topic, super off topic.
Yeah, we're kinda done
However,
with that anyway.
it's a relevant topic for the year, at time of age. Infinity Wars. I haven't seen it yet, but have you guys
Am I
seen
the
all
one
the
who's seen
other-
it?
You've seen it?
Yeah, I saw it the day it came out. I saw it had an 8 p.m.
yeah.
premiere.
Great, you don't talk about anything then.
God damn it.
You can talk about everything, not about the movie. So, has everyone caught up with all the movies, or...
No.
No, I hate superhero movies.
Oh.
Shit, get shot down.
Okay.
No, just straight up, like, I love a good superhero movie. I hate the genre in general. Does that make sense?
I can dig that, yeah.
Like, I think that, like, Avengers and stuff, and even the comics, too, like, I think superheroes gathered in a big, unbeatable team is the most boring fucking thing on the planet. I would rather
And it's
see
never
one
done
hero.
right. It's the same thing as having a pantheon of villains. You split the competence rather than actually making it a gargantuan threat.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I also am very picky with superheroes. Like, I really like Spider-Man, but I think Captain America's boring.
Oh,
as
hell
shit.
yeah. Dude, I'm on the same boat. Favorite hero is Spider-Man. Favorite villain / anti-hero is Venom.
Yo, Venom is dope as shit. But see,
Yo,
that's what I
did you
mean.
see
So,
that-
like, I love the Spider-Man universe. I don't really give a shit about, like, Captain America. Thor is okay, I guess, but I don't really care. So, like, things like the Avengers are incredibly lost on me because I don't geek out on everybody co-oping together against, like, a giant threat because I don't really
No,
care.
I'm on the same boat, dude.
Yeah.
Be careful
But
with this conversation. I can only hold back my comics years so long.
Okay, so we'll go really fast. So, have you seen the visuals for Venom? The new
Yes,
movie?
I did. And this
Dude,
is actually a
Venom
good
looks
topic
great.
because I like Spider-Man.
I do not think Tom Hardy's a good fit for that.
Really?
I
How
feel
come?
like it had to be The Rock. You need the body of The Rock for a good Venom.
I don't think that Tom Hardy's in the right, like, I don't buy him as Eddie Brock. I don't buy him as this misguided upstart journalist for the, how else would you put it? Like this kind of predestined downfall. And also the way he gives his delivery is just like, you can't trust these people. They're evil, although you have to mumble through it like you're still in The Revenant. I don't buy him.
I don't know. I personally liked what I saw in the trailer of him. Also, I'm curious if they're going to focus on Eddie or if they were just hiding Venom for a lot of the trailer just so you would want more.
I think the way they're going to go about it is like, hey, he's Venom / and Eddie, but like he has to fight between the two sides.
That's a big thing, is the difference between like
The difference between I am Venom and we are Venom. That's the thing
Yeah.
that they've really got to nail. And I don't know if they're good for it, especially if they can't tie it in with a Spider-Man.
We are Venom.
Like, how do they justify Venom being anything resembling his typical character if there's no Spider-Man in that fiction?
Yeah, that's kind of true.
I mean,
Like-
Spider-Man's up there for my heroes. He's not as high as Daredevil, but he's in my top 3 easy.
Okay.
And I don't want to see them do a Spider-Man character wrong. And I'm worried that as much as I love Mad Max, as much as I love The Revenant, I don't think we got a good Eddie Brock here.
Yeah, like I really wish. Like I feel like I don't know. For me, visuals are a really big thing for Venom, and I always seen Venom as like a bodybuilder type of villain, if you know what I mean.
Well, because he was supposed to be basically a jock.
Yeah.
As far as I've ever seen Eddie Brock, yeah. Like, he was always, like, the jock type. Yeah, that's interesting.
Also, it may just be me, but I'm still of the opinion that the concept for Venom originally is way better than the execution, but we can always say that based on, like, a concept we'll never see in full form.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't Venom supposed to be like a...
Venom was, in the original proposal, a pregnant woman that Spider-Man did not detect via the Spidey sense.
Oh.
And it was found out that that woman had the superpower of basically being immune to the Spidey sense, which is what made Venom so interested in that person before latching onto them as the symbiote. And Spider-Man's failure to save that woman resulted in her losing her child, and she would be full of rage, and Venom would latch onto that and amplify it so that she was hunting down Spider-Man, and Spider-Man couldn't detect her.
But
By
wasn't
the way, did it bug anybody else that they said symbiote in the trailer?
Why?
Yeah, it's like when Neil deGrasse Tyson tries to correct Superman on how to pronounce his home planet. Like, do not try this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
well, he's
wait.
a whole different...
What did Neil deGrasse Tyson say?
He says Superman can't even pronounce the name of his home planet right. It's Krypton, not Krypton. It's like, this is not an element, that's an alien planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's the...
You can't just be the science black man meme for the rest of time. You actually have to, I don't know, be relevant once in a while.
I think that's, like, honestly, what they did on purpose, if I had to guess. Like, oh, instead of calling it Krypton, call it Krypton. That sounds like a planet. Like...
Yeah.
Literally everyone calls it. I feel like he's like...
Or it could be a bunch of New Yorkers from the 70s that didn't know how to read an element, not 70s, the 40s, that couldn't read a periodic table.
That's true.
70s, fuck.
Both
Did
are
we
Neil
just get, like,
deGrasse-
Action Comics issue 1000 recently? Like, he's been around for fucking ever.
Yeah. He used to have every power too, ever, under the sun.
Yeah, that's extremely true. And, like...
Super fast basket weaving. I
he
remember
probably
when that
could.
was on the roster. No, that was on the roster legitimately.
Oh,
What?
God.
Really?
I'm not surprised.
But why?
And
It's fucking
what's his face? What's the name of his villain? Lex Luthor. He sold cake. Like, actual cake.
What?
40 cakes. A truly evil deed.
What?
Yeah, Superman's weird. But I dig it. Like, I get that the whole point of Superman is that he's so strong you have to harm him mentally.
Yeah, I mean, this is a topic for another day, but I think Luke Cage did a Superman story better than any live-action Superman since Christopher Reeve. They've been fucking up that character for so long, I'm not even surprised anymore.
Really.
I don't like Superman, to be honest.
He's not my favorite either, but, like, I respect how weird his story is, that, like, again, he's so strong that you have to physically meme him.
Dude,
I
my
mean, that
favorite...
You have to mentally meme him.
My favorite strong hero is All Might.
Who?
All Might from My Hero anime.
Oh, yeah. A show I still
He's
know.
my favorite hero. Dude, he's really cool.
I just got really excited this morning because I was checking Facebook half asleep in bed, and J-List shared a post that had images of the main character in Darling in the Franxx got her first figure,
Oh, really?
and it made me like really excited to start the show.
Which one? Is it the
pink-haired-
pink-haired dinosaur girl with AIDS, or the blue-haired childhood friend?
Pink,
Wait, what show?
Darling
You
in
know, the one with the
Franxx.
mechs that have to be highlighted doggy style. The one you were recommending me.
Oh,
Which
of
one?
course.
Darling in the Franks. I can't keep this
I
joke
just said
going
it like
forever.
3 times, Eric.
I don't know this show.
Oh my
You recommended to me!
Oh Oh my god.
This is why
I
we
may
love
have.
Eric.
This is that Dragon Maid thing all over again.
Where's like the fucking
Oh,
every time
rim shot?
yeah, rim shot every time Eric forgets something.
Every time Eric opens his fucking mouth.
You're gonna break that button.
Yeah, no, my other big problem with comics is, like, I feel like American comics have a really, really strong, or not all American comics, but rather, like, the big comic entities like DC and Marvel, they have this obsession with creating a universe instead of a good world one at a time.
I think, what's the guy's name? I can't remember. He just did he just finished his story for Batman, The White Knight. I think that would be really good for you if you want something that's a self-contained story instead of just the universe.
I think that's why I like Batman so much.
Did the Samurai one come out yet?
Ninja Batman? I'm not sure if that's out yet.
Ah, okay. I'm
What
pretty
were you gonna
excited
say,
for that.
Ted?
So Discord is doing another open call for their loading lines.
Oh no.
But they said, okay, this was their Facebook post. They said, "Hello, this is Discord on the Facebook. We are requesting for loading lines. Please give us only serious loading lines. We are not accepting any memes this time. Thank."
Wait. Oh, loading
Bullshit.
lines. Okay.
But, so I saw the post because one of the greatest Facebook pages ever created, Chris will agree, is Diddy Kong pointing at an unknown object with his hat on backwards.
Hell yeah.
They shared it and they really want to get that as a loading line.
Oh my god, please.
No memes, please.
Oh, but the top comment on the Discord post with like almost 600 likes is that.
Is the link to the page?
No, it's just like the text. Like,
Oh, hell yeah.
Memes, Jack.
Fuck.
The essence of life.
You better like that comment. You better heart react to that comment.
Somebody said, uninstalling Discord, please wait.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Simple yet elegant.
Yeah.
Exactly. What?
So, wait, what topic are we on right now?
We were talking about
comics.
mobile games. Well,
Oh, okay.
Nintendo's
We went to
mobile
superheroes.
Well, we were on that / superheroes, yeah.
Okay. So,
Do we have
What's the
anything
next
big left
topic?
other than the CDPR, or... Yeah, that's probably the wrong acronym, too. Hold on.
What was Eric gonna say? I feel like he was about to say something.
I don't know. I probably was going to say something.
Oh, it's GDPR, not CDPR. I got mixed up with the guys that made The Witcher.
Are there any updates on Cyberpunk?
No,
Actually,
their Twitter just beeped.
They've been in, like, the news recently, yeah. They've been, like, quiet, but not non-existent. I'll put it that way. So, they're on track. And I'm very fucking excited.
Hey, guys, do you want to go to, like, a con sometime soon?
Yeah, I mean, we go, to...
What's the big one?
Chris and I go to Otakon every year and MagFest. MagFest would obviously be, like, the best for the group of us because it's video games, not anime.
No, we're going to an anime con because they still have better game rooms than MagFest at this point.
I can do anime. You know me.
Oh, I know. But for the podcast...
You'll never watch it, but you'll do the con. Got it.
Hey, Chris, do you watch anime? Not you, Chris. The other Chris.
What?
Wait,
That still doesn't
Not you,
help.
Chris. Brazil.
wait, what?
Me?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
the one with a nickname? Ferox?
Yeah, real fake Chris. Are you into anime?
Yes.
Great. So we can do the anime one.
I knew that, and you've known him for years!
Yeah, I'm just confirming.
You've seen my room. You know all the Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, Berserk, Gundam, Dragon Ball Z.
Wait, shut up. You've read Berserk?
Yeah, I love Berserk.
Oh, I just finished it yesterday! No spoilers,
Nice.
though, because Taylor hasn't read it.
We can't discuss.
Okay,
Yeah.
I read one chapter. Hold up.
She started it, yeah.
Spoil it.
And I also would never
Spoil it.
do that to anybody watching this show. It's too good of a fucking manga to be spoiled. Eric,
I
read
will-
Berserk and talk
Hey,
to us about
listen.
it.
Hold on. The anime.
No, don't worry about that. The manga.
Watch the anime.
No,
Watch the anime.
no,
Do it.
no. Well, I'm going to, just to see how much of a train wreck it is. Also, I'm
Oh,
watching the
it's a
old
train
anime
wreck.
first because I hear it's actually really, like, not that bad.
Yeah, classic Berserk only goes up to what is it, the Golden? Or
I think it's the Golden Age, yeah.
yeah,
But-
Golden Age Berserk is one of the best animes I've seen for a while. It's a little old in terms of like the animation techniques, but
Right, like,
it
as
gets
far
the job
as,
done.
quote, quality goes.
He's like, if you could grow up with something like Rurouni Kenshin or Yu Yu Hakusho, you can take the old Berserk anime.
Yeah. Oh, God, Berserk.
If we talk about Berserk, we have to bring Pete on, my cousin Pete, because he's like a fanatic for it. That's
That's funny
found out.
because my friend Pete, who I want to bring on the show, is tied for biggest Berserk fan I know, next to Fridge.
That is really bizarre.
Oh,
Yeah.
In a world
Great.
of Berserk loving Pete's, there can be only one. We have to get them both on.
oh, great!
And they
We'll have them
must
fight to the death.
on air.
Yeah, we'll have two Chris's, two Pete's. Everybody loves Berserk.
Yep.
We'll talk over Taylor.
It's not like everybody loves Raymond, but really, really sad.
Hey, wait, Chris,
also-
can you get that music from Star Trek that goes da 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 for the death fight? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Wait, which Chris are you talking to now?
The one with
Ferris.
the soundboard or the one that knows Star Trek? Which are you talking to?
The Star Trek one. You know that death fight against the giant ass lizard man?
I think I know what you're talking about, but why are we bringing a Gorn into this?
Because they have that great soundtrack that we can use when the Pete's fight.
We're not going to use a coconut bamboo diamond cannon.
What?
Star Trek is weird. I love it, but it's fucking weird.
What?
But also another. Pete is also a video game translator in his spare time, so
Yes.
he definitely needs to be on here.
Hey, bring him on.
Yeah.
Oh, he already said he would. He just works a lot.
Yeah.
Well, tell him to quit his job so he can be on here.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, they can't all be Star Trek references.
Duh. Yeah. That makes sense.
All right. What's our last topic for the day?
Our last one was
whatever
probably the
Chris wants to say.
GDPR.
You two just
Yeah.
spoke at the same time, so
And said different things.
yes.
GDPR.
Yes.
All right, start us
Perfect.
off.
Okay, so the long and the short of this one is that the EU was banding around some new legislation in 2016. It was approved in that year. However, it's only starting to go into effect next month on May 25th. The General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR for short, is going to, if we understand it correctly, and again, I'm not big on European law, is going to free up a lot of the data that companies would be collecting or just otherwise intercepting from their online users. And it will effectively be enforcing an additional level of privacy on the users. And it's also appearing that it's going to impact not just online functionality in browsers, but it's going to impact games, content distribution for film, music, etc. It looks like this is going to be a very all-encompassing change in data management overseas. And there are already some concerns about services which will have to go down. Like a game we discussed last week, Super Monday Night Combat, is going to have to be taken offline because they literally cannot afford to reformat based on the new legislation.
Huh. That is concerning and very bizarre wording, also.
So, is this just for Europe, or is this going to be like a standard now?
It's EU legislation, so we're not a member
Okay.
of the European Union.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes it leaks over with, like, the games and such.
Yeah, I don't know if that will that'll follow us here. I'm still a little lost on exactly what this implies, though, the law itself.
I think it's going to be something more analogous to like imagining the general consumer has a VPN, although the EU is going to try and just, rather than renting VPNs for your services, it's just going to act as if you have one. But then again, this is one of those things that fucked up the Steam Spy a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Like it forced Valve to reformat the default settings for their like online profiles, so you can't collect that kind of data.
Right. So it's
Interesting.
basically like protecting private consumer data en masse,
Yeah, and
which seems like a very good idea.
if I weren't so confused by it, I think I would be in favor of it, but
Yeah,
Again, this is
it's not just me, right? It seems like a very confusing concept in execution, not in like I don't know, the way you described it made it sound like you said like private data as if it were run through a VPN, but it doesn't seem like something that should be that just simple. there's way too much that goes into that.
Yeah, maybe I'm just overthinking this because this does not have any additional restrictions imposed upon consumers. It's strictly, and it's not even going to be us as consumers because it's not coming to the States. It's an EU thing.
Right.
It's just, I'm trying to figure out how it is they're able to enforce this, but then again, with the sort of monopolization of ISPs we have here in the States, I'm not sure if we have anything that's even remotely analogous to it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. This is very weird. I mean, and this also kind of goes to the whole net neutrality thing a little bit, because it would prevent any kind of that. I mean, that would kind of spit in the face of their bottom line of monitoring like traffic and finding out.
Yeah, could you imagine if this kind of service went into
usage stats from a website? Even if it's not
but you have to opt into those usage stats now. I mean, look at Valve. I mean, Steam can no longer contribute to Steam Spy, which was a big program for analysts and I guess critics as well, trying to figure out the actual usage and consecutive users for online gaming.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is instead of seeing how many Steam users there are, that was showing you what people were doing with their profiles, whereas what I'm talking about is more similar to, even if you use a VPN and they don't know anything about you, they know you're accessing Steam. You know what I mean?
I think I understand what you're saying now.
It's a general thing. So, like, if an ISP wants to use fast lanes on a popular website, they'll still know the website's popular, even if they know nothing about the people accessing it, because they can still tell that private IP addresses showing no private information are accessing the site en masse.
Yeah, I'm trying to process how this would impact, let's say, cookies for passwords, usernames.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if this kind of legislation was dropped into Mark Zuckerberg's lap and he was told that he can't sell private information of his customers to marketing firms anymore?
I would probably start using certain social media. If that were the case.
I mean, I doubt this is going to impact social media that severely. I mean, they still have a large European number of people operating in the European Union that use those services, and they would have lobbied a lot harder against the EU if that was still a threat to them. So there's still going to be data collection. I just don't understand how it is they're going to articulate it with this legislation.
Yeah, and how can it not be argued against with this legislation? Because Facebook collects, I think I know how. Because even if you're not having your data collected by the website, like if you run it in a container, in a VPN, the point is you're still posting things.
Yeah, they're probably going to have to go with a bunch of EULA revisions, or is that how you pronounce it? EULA?
Yeah.
Whatever.
And user license agreement, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to end up overhauling those probably in a way that you opt in simply by accessing the service.
Yeah, because think about it. If you live in LA, right? And, God, especially if you use Facebook on mobile. And granted, part of the reason I don't use Facebook, a very small part, is because of this. Mostly I just don't really like it. So don't worry, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But, if you use Facebook on mobile, it doesn't matter if you're running through, like, a mobile VPN or anything. You're still posting that you're doing a thing at a location. You have to stay off the grid. You have to not
data usage still fluctuates, even if you don't have your tracking turned on. Data usage will still fluctuate. So
yeah, they track what cell phone towers you're connecting to.
This reminds me of? The story's a bit older, but it was a legal demand that the current warranty void if seal is broken type labels that were put on gaming consoles, things that made you use the proprietary service for repairs, were deemed illegal.
Yeah, Right to Repair Act.
Unenforceable at the very least.
Yeah.
And now we're getting this happening in the EU. I mean, it was a couple years in the making, but these are some very pro-consumer type things that I was not expecting.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
People are finally realizing, we can't just lay back and let it happen.
Hey guys.
What?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to use Chris's audio for this. Oh god.
Why? What happened?
I just realized I've been muted this whole time.
What?
Seriously.
I'm recording, it's okay.
Great.
On the things I expect from Eric, this is a potential one.
And this is why we have a backup recording.
Yep. Great. Oh, but yeah. But anyway, so this is, dude, this is so way past my pay grade when it comes to understanding this stuff.
Special guest puppy.
Oh, look, I can't play with the puppy.
I'm saying beside a Thunderjaw, is that close enough?
What?
A Thunderjaw from Horizon Zero Dawn. Is that close enough for a pet?
It'll work, yeah.
I mean, the turtles are in the corner, but I don't want to count them. They're pains.
Alright, so, as we were saying, so, if this came to America, how do you think that would affect us?
A lot of companies would be like, this is unfair.
Lobby.
Yeah.
Rabble.
You'd probably
Well,
hear
they
bankruptcy coming from 1,000 miles away with them trying to afford all the lobbying. They would need to stop it.
Yeah.
But dude, like, to be fair, Europe has been a lot more progressive than us when it comes to stuff like this.
Europeans were leading the way when it came to Steam's lack of a refund policy. I mean, Australia was the one that got the fine in court, everything considered, but the Europeans were the ones leading that, and they got the regulations first. With the, what's it called? Fair Business Act?
Yes?
I'm not sure. Again, I'm terrible at European law.
Yeah, it's fine, so am I. But, no, I think there would be a lot of lobbying from the business groups that are like, oh, hey, this is
100%.
impacting our bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, the social media and the search engine companies would probably be at the forefront. VPNs would be right up there with them. And then it'd just be a crapshoot as to who lays their cards with which side.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, then you'll see those, like, videos like, this is gonna kill your freedom.
Oh, yeah, there will be propaganda on both sides for sure. I don't know.
And let me tell you why.
I don't know where things are going to go because I've said this before about like the there's a lot of good choice right now in gaming, and even though it is disappointing to see a lot of potentially really cool like big budget titles get really greedy and like just kind of go down the shitter, I don't know how much it's going to need to be affected by lobbying versus
we do need some industry-wide reformation, though. Do you guys watch Razor Fist, for example?
What?
Do you guys watch anything from Razor Fist, for example?
No.
No,
The guys put out some very comprehensive arguments as to, based on the gaming crash that kind of put Nintendo at the forefront, we may be undergoing a gaming crash currently. Not on the cusp of one, going through one currently.
What do you mean?
And he's made his arguments both industry-wise, economically, and he's done quite a few videos on it. And I think his most recent one on this topic specifically was over a year ago.
Ooh. I'm
he's had
really
a lot.
interested in watching this. How does he figure we're going through a crash now?
Yeah.
Short version of his arguments is the stagnation of hardware advancement along with the proliferation of substandard and critically panned and audience panned software, and this also with the oversaturation of physical product on shelves, the consistently declining MSRP of all products, the rapid cycle in and out, and also the price gouging of goods and services by the companies for the decreasing value in the customer.
Interesting.
I mean, he puts the argument way better than I do, and he also has a full video for it, so.
Okay.
Also, if nothing else, you have to watch his music mythos, because he does a bunch of great band and music reviews, so.
Hell yeah. I'm in for all of that.
Hey guys.
Hey.
So I'm scrolling through Instagram, and we all know who the lovely Asa Akira is here, right?
No.
I think Eric's lying.
No, I actually don't.
She's a porn star.
Oh, okay.
She's Asian and she's hilarious. Anyway, she's become like one of like the most famous like girls out there in the past like 10 years, and she's now technically a brand ambassador for Pornhub and stuff. Anyway,
And Skittles.
And Skittles.
What?
No.
Really?
No.
No, but
not-
she did have him eaten out of her butthole once.
Oh my.
Anyway.
Did you have a tramp stamp reading Made in China? Like, is that how they justify the
No,
Pornhub?
she's Japanese.
Their search filters don't account for that. It's only Asian.
So this company called Summit Superstars, I don't know what they do, I haven't looked at their website. They made a, what was the size? A lifelike premium quarter-scale resin statue of the award-winning adult entertainer Asa Akira. So they made her into a fucking figure.
You know, I think they might have misheard somebody. It's I could eat her out, not eat her up.
Wait, is it as expensive as Ami?
Yeah, it's $499.
Wow!
Rather buy Ami.
That was the launch price of a PS3.
And also, Akira won't play the Blu-rays for you.
Holy shit. I'm sending the link in line so you guys can just see how, like, stupid this is.
Holy fuck.
Is it in the chat?
A $500 waifu figure of a porn star.
I, like...
What a time
Where'd you
to
put-
live.
Yeah.
Wait, where'd you put this?
Line.
Line.
What?
Is there anything else to the story, or are we just getting our floppy disks out for Japanese hardware?
Yes.
Wait, I totally do not see this. Where'd you hide this?
Oh
Line!
my god.
I just posted it!
In line?
I just said line,
line,
Eric!
Oh, okay.
Making me mad here!
I was looking through Discord.
Oh, no, apparently Discord isn't installed on my phone after it got reset, so...
Neat.
Oh, this person. Okay, I've seen this person.
Yeah, she's cool.
Asa Akira's great.
Yeah.
We know somebody who won a contest, actually, regarding her.
What kind of contest?
It was...
It was
what
a-
were the choices?
It was a retweet me on Twitter for a chance to win, a copy of my book, a candle, or a pair of my underwear.
Use.
Used.
Which one did he get?
What do you
Or
think?
she get?
Okay, suddenly I did actually have to look this person up.
Yeah. No, like, all like, porn aside, she's actually, like, a genuinely funny person.
No, yeah, she is.
Yeah. She actually
cool.
does, she does a podcast for Pornhub, actually, where she interviews other porn stars. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's super
Let's
neat.
say. So you're telling me she's competition?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's our significantly more attractive Asian competition. And probably funnier, too.
Oh yeah.
You know, Eric, if you want to challenge her at the forefront, we need to find out how you look in a bikini top.
Okay, let's do it.
For the
Challenge
views.
accepted. For the views.
Jesus.
Oh look, I got one extra viewer.
God.
Well, apparently the Twitch counter wants what the Twitch counter wants.
Yeah, right.
And that is hairy cleavage from Eric.
Feed the beast.
No. Alright, so I think our chat for today has concluded.
I agree. It was a good
It was a weird one.
I don't know if we had a coherent train of thought in there, but there's a lot of things said.
Yeah, it wasn't that coherent, but we had
No,
a lot.
I think we're more coherent than many other days when we do this.
At times, yes. Well, anyway, it's been fun. Thanks
has.
for anyone who watched. Thank you for fans from Taylor's side for giving us information about that one jail girl.
Yes.
That one jail girl.
Yes. I finished my
Martha
hedgehogs.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Jail girl Martha Stewart, never mind. That joke's old.
Ah! Yeah.
Good luck getting that image out of your head, by the way. Okay, is there anything else we have to talk about, or are we just going to goof all over Berserk?
Oh, I want the new chapter. Fucking Mira fucked me real hard with that last chapter.
In the butt.
We've been waiting. Oh, how long has it been since we were waiting for? Am I allowed to spoil it?
No.
They've been on a boat. That's all you can say.
I can't re-articulate it without spoiling. So
I'm on
I'm
the
just gonna shut
boat and it's going fast.
Shut
and
up.
The king of the world. Oh yeah, copyright claims. Anyway, talk to you guys later.
See
At the end
ya.
of the stream.
Meh.
Catch you later.
Bye.
It's been fun.